Hi everybody, Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun project to share with you using the Sweet Harvest Stamp Die and Stencil from Altenew. This is all of a Craft Your Life project kit and I love it. I'm calling them apples. I think they look like apples, although I think they could be also like other types of fruit if you wanted to switch up the color. So I love that there's a coordinating stencil set. You can blend the color, and there's a coordinating die to cut it out and cut out the larger sentiments. I'm going to start by stamping this little vine cluster of, I'm calling it apples, with jet black ink. Going to be using all Altenew inks for the stamping and the blending, and I have an offer for 50% off a mini blending brush set, which I highly recommend. Limited time, you can get 50% off. Okay, so here's the Sweet Harvest stencil set. 2 of them are backgrounds and 2 of them are to blend the fruit and the leaves. Okay, and so I'm going to start lining this up and I'm going to get to blending. I'm going to use a combination of coral red and crimson, and I'm using these little mini blenders, the Altenew ones, that there's a deal for 50% off. I got to tell you, they've become some of my favorites. I love the size of them. They're not too big and they're not too little. And I have that wooden holder, holds them all, makes me feel like I've got my life together. Okay, so I do a light wash of coral red. Then I come in a little heavier down at the bottom. I'm starting to give it that gradient love. And then I'll take it one step further with crimson and just pump up the volume for that vibrancy on the bottom of the fruit. I feel like you could almost do these like mandarins. Don't you think they look like they could be mandarin oranges? I call them cuties, the little cutie mandarins. I always have them in my fridge. I eat one almost every day for breakfast with an egg. I like a nice poached egg with a cutie mandarin. It's like my little ritual. Okay, and then now the stencils with Altenew, you kind of gotta, they're like a 2-part, 3-part. You gotta move them around and line them up. And they're all labeled, so you know what you're doing. Again, with the coral red and the crimson, giving it a light wash here. And then I always have that scratch paper on the side, kind of tapping off so you don't come in too hot and get it splotchy. She's a hot one here today. End of September, I think we're in the 80s. I don't know what's going on, but she's a hot one. It starts off cool every morning, like in the 50s. Then by the afternoon, she's bumping up into the 80s. What is going on? Okay, so for the branch, I'm doing milk chocolate. And again, I kind of go darker in some areas, lighter than others. I like that gradient love style. It's kind of my jam. So there you have milk chocolate on the branch. And then I'm going to lay the next stencil and start doing the leaves. Now for the leaves, I did a combination, and I never know how to pronounce this ink color. Olove? I want to say olive, but I think it's Olove. And then I did a little bit of Shadow Creek. Now these 2 greens are not in the same color family. One is very yellowy and one is a little bit more blue. But when you lay the Shadow Creek over the olive, it does some magical things, I'm telling you. Okay, so here's where I'm coming in with Shadow Creek. You see how I bring that in just along the base, and I don't go all the way to the end because I want that olive to kind of pop through. So it gives you this kind of 2-tone leaf, which I'm here for. I'm here for this. So look at how this is coming together. And I got to tell you, it just kind of makes me chuckle when these products make you look like you're better than you are. And that's the darn tootin' truth. Did I tell you guys that about a month ago, my oldest daughter, we helped her move to Nashville. She's living with a girlfriend, one of her very old girlfriends. And my oldest daughter is working remotely as a graphic designer, so she could really live anywhere. And she was living with us, but she's ready to take that step, and live on her own. And so she went to Nashville, and she is loving it. Nashville is a place you want to be if you're a young, trendy type of gal. I will say, though, she says she sees golden retrievers everywhere, but it's warm there. And I'm just wondering, because Hank thrives when it's cold. He loves the cold, the wind. He's thriving in Minnesota. And I'm just wondering, what is it like? What are the winters like in Nashville? This is new territory. So I guess we'll find out. But, okay, so this is all blended. I die cut it. Now for the background, I'm going to strip it up with burnt red, caramel toffee, pastel sunrise, rouge, warm sunshine, parrot, lagoon. And I also added Arctic Mountain, which is that deep navy, and deep iris for a little bit of purple. So I'm using some tape runner. I have a panel of cream cardstock, and I'm gonna strip it up. Sometimes when you just don't know, not sometimes, but oftentimes, I like to strip it up on a background. It just makes me happy. And you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's kind of my thing, and I like it, and it brings me joy. Now you could customize the strips, the colors, you know, make them more autumnal, make them holiday, make them pastel. But I just pulled out some colors that I just got some packs of Altenew solid color cardstock. Now, did I mention this is going to be a larger card? Because this little apple branch is large, and I just didn't want to crop it too much. So I have this panel here, cream cardstock, is 4x6. 4x6. I'm putting it on a 5x7 white card. Glued that down. Couple foam squares on the back of the vine here, and I'm just kind of lining this up. Kind of goes so there. So I got the strips. The stripping it up is going one angle. The apple branch is kind of going another angle. Then I'm stamping the Thankful for You, which is from the Sweet Harvest stamp set. Going to use the coordinating die to cut it out. And I use jet black ink for this. All the things that I use will be listed in the description box. And then I did a couple little foam squares on the back of that, and then just going to nestle it right there on the bottom right corner. And then I pulled out a few of these Stellar Sequins by Altenew. This is the clear iridescent, my most used, and I put them everywhere. I tucked them, I staggered them, I just did it all. Thankful for You. Look at these vibrant blended apples with the stripped up background. Now here is the 50% off code. Use Laura Ink to get 50% off a mini blending brush set if you're in the market. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.